Sometimes big things come in small packages. I know this looks a lot like the 500 Magnum case, but here's some scale for you. So sit tight, and I'll show you why I traded 2 guns and hauled ass and took half a day off of work to pick up what's in here. So, let's take a look inside. You're gonna love this. This is not stainless steel. It's all black. Black pistol. Oh God, what do we do? Ban it, right? Ban it, ban it. First thing you're gonna notice is, why do I have 8 rounds of here? Why are there 8 bullets here? Well, because this is the Smith and Wesson 327 Night Guard. What makes this unique? Well, it's chambered in 357 Magnum for starters, and it's also packed into an N frame instead of an L frame. So it's got enough room for 8 rounds. Look at that, ain't that awesome? It originally came with a Pachmeyer boot grip, which is a little more rounded at the bottom and shorter. But I really like to shoot this gun, and I put a Hogue Tamer on it. Just like I do all my wheel guns of large calibers, but this one I did it just for pure comfort and ergonomics because I have long fingers. So like I was saying, this is chambered in 357 Magnum. It's 8 rounds. It's an N-frame pistol, revolver. You're gonna wonder what these little gold dots all over the place are. This is a symbol to mark that this is made out of a very unique alloy known as Scandium. Now, I know I'm not the first person to do a review on this, and I'm not the first person to talk about it, but if you're new to exotic metal guns, Scandium is sort of a rare earth metal mixed with aluminum to create an incredibly strong alloy that's also very light. This gun, empty, is barely 1.5 pounds. There's like no weight to it at all. The later ones, this model was followed up by a slightly longer version known as the 327 PD. And I also had another one that was like a real stubby one. I call it the fresh out of the pool look. And it's like a 1/2-inch barrel sticking out of here. It's like a 1-inch barrel. And it had a titanium cylinder. But this was Genesis for the 327. And when these first came out, I think it was sometime in the, I want to say it was like the late 90s, maybe the mid to late 90s. Lightweight carry pistol with an 8-round capacity. Pretty awesome. And if I remember right, the MSRP on these was like $5 or $6.99. Not when I found this one. No, you see, young and dumb and more money than brains version of me went to the movies, like I mostly do with most of my guns. And I saw a movie called From Paris with Love. That starred John Travolta. And he was the anti-cop. He was a cop, but he was an anti-cop. He did cocaine, he did arms dealing, he worked with Interpol, I think. Anyway, he's not your regular cop. And he carried one of these as a backup. And he actually had to hand it to his partner. His partner got to carry this. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's pretty famous as well. So I saw that gun, and I thought, wow, that's awesome. 8 rounds of 357. What a great concept for carry. Ran home, started looking them up, discontinued. Model discontinued. Damn. So I started looking in the used market, gun broker and the like. Couldn't find one. Not for a long time. Months. Months turned into years. Then one day I jumped across this website locally. Actually, no, I did find it on Gunbroker. And I looked up the seller's name, and it said Shooter Station. I looked up his details, and it said Conroe, Texas. So then I went to their website, and it was listed there. The price was the same, so I thought, okay, he's not trying to rip people off. So then I called the shop and I said, hey, I saw this on Gunbroker. Can I come up there and buy it? And he said, yep, no problem. Come on over. He's like, I'll make you a cash deal on it. Okay. So what did I do? I took the rest of the day off of work and promptly drove the hour and a half up to his shop, walked in, went straight to the guy who sold me my 44 Magnum, and he took one look at me and he goes, wait, don't tell me you're the guy that wants the night guard. And I said, yeah. He goes, didn't you buy that competitor from me a couple years back? Yes. He goes, I remember you. He's like, I got a funny story for you. All my guns have stories. I said, what is it? He goes, the day you came and picked up that competitor, I remember you telling me about this gun. And I said, yeah. And he goes, funny thing is I had it back then too. It just wasn't for sale at the time. And he goes, it was sitting in the shop safe. He's like, well, I guess you were meant to have it. So I didn't have all the cash on me at the time. So what did I do? I gave up a Ruger LCR in 357, and I gave up a Ruger SR 1911 that I only owned for about 6 months. And he gave me fair trade-in for it. His asking price for this at the time was $14.99. I gave him the LCR and the 1911, I think $100, and he let me have it. So that's how I got it. I've owned it ever since. This is one of those I'm never going to sell this ever guns. Actually, now that I think about it, all my guns are that way now. I've gotten to the point now where I'm very careful with my purchases, and I don't buy things that I know I'm going to end up trading later. So my frequency of purchase has become much slower because I'm not impulse buying like I used to. So anyway, let's get into some of the details. I'm pretty sure this is not a performance center gun, but it does have some kind of unique features aside from its party piece of what it's made out of. And obviously, like all Smith, the cylinder does counterclockwise turning. And there is a steel shield right up there. I don't know if you can see that up there against the forcing cone. So that way it doesn't erode the top strap. So they thought this out pretty well. And you notice the forcing cone had to stick out further because the cylinder for a 357 is obviously much shorter than a 44 Magnum. So they made up for it by bringing the forcing cone back further. You can stick like a playing card in that gap. It's not too terrible. Anyway, let's see. It has a fanned hammer, which I do kind of like, or flattened out, a little bigger, easier to get a hold of. Single action on this thing, like most Smiths, 2.5 pounds tops. Like, it's just butter, instant. It's like snapping a carrot. Double action on this, because the cylinder doesn't have far to travel, they actually did make it kind of heavy. This 9 pounds, a lot like my Alaskan. Funny enough, this fits in the same holster as the Alaskan. It's dimensionally almost the same. And its other party piece, non-adjustable gutter sight, pretty deep cut. And if you look down there, you see a little white dot there. Factory installed XS big dot tritium installed night sight, or inserted night sight. Still works. That's kind of it though. There's really not a lot to talk about with a wheel gun. I mean, this one's gimmick is super lightweight, easy to shoot. Night sights, it's factory zeroed at about 10 yards. 7 to 10 yards. Point of aim, point of impact, 7 to 10 yards. Very, very comfortable to shoot. And, well, technically it's kind of economical. 357 is not too pricey. I can load 357 Magnum rounds for, I think, like 6 or 7 cents a round. I buy in bulk, but it's pretty cheap to make your own. This was like the third caliber I started loading for. So the first was 44 Magnum, second was 454 Casull. Then I got into 38s and 357s because of the gun in the next episode, which has a pretty unique story too. This one doesn't really, it's just how I got it and who I got it from. So anyway, sorry there was not too much meat and not a lot of potato for this one, but it's a cool gun. If you can find one, you're going to spend quite a bit for it. 327s are probably the most popular of the Night Guard series. The only other ones that I can think of that are interesting are the 357 Night Guard, which is actually in 41 Magnum, which I am looking for. And there's another one called the 310 Night Guard, which is a 10mm version of that, which is pretty sweet. It also came in 44 Special and 44 Magnum. It also came in a 386 Night Guard, which is the L frame with the 686 Plus style 7-round cylinder. So there's a lot of different versions of the Night Guard out there. I only want 3 of them. But this is the one I had to have first. And the last time I saw one of these for sale, it had a buy it now of $3,500. They're getting pricey because they're very collectible. What followed this was the PD, and what followed that was the R8 and TRR8, which is also on my to-do list someday because, well, Maggie from The Walking Dead carried a TRR8 later in the show, and I absolutely adore that gun. So anyway, there it is. Smith and Wesson 327 Night Guard in all its Scandium goodness. If you like what you see, maybe hit the like button right about there. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I invite you to subscribe. If you're a regular here, welcome back. Either way, maybe check out my other playlists and see if my other interests might be of interest to you. Anyway, oh yeah, maybe you want to see what the crown looks like. Don't ask, I don't know why they did it that way either. It's obviously a steel barrel though. That's what it is. Sorry, I'm being an idiot. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. We'll see you on the next one. Later.